Welcome to the Q.A.C. Team Podcast, your quality assurance consulting team. Quality is our highest priority for your business with one goal, one direction, success. And now here's your host, Charles Luttrell. Good morning, listeners. I have a pretty good, fun podcast today. This interview is a multi-talented individual. John, good morning.
Good morning, Chuck. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Terrific, aside from this weather.
Yes, I was about to mention that this weather is not great today, but we will get through it.
Absolutely.
So, John, thanks for joining us on the Q.A.C. Team Podcast this morning. Tell our audience who you are and what you do.
My name is John Keaton. I'm an artist. I've been an artist since the age of 5. I have been illustrating and designing products and paintings and drawings and all sorts of creative endeavors. Illustrated children's books. I have 6 publications out there on the market, and I also am a musician. You can find my music on Apple Music or Spotify or any of those worldwide distribution centers.
That's fantastic. So let's break it down. Let's take the art side first.
Okay.
And so you said you have a number of publications. I guess my question is, why did you decide to? What made you get into doing art?
Well, it's a very interesting story. When I was 5 years old, I was living with my aunt who was speech impaired and also hearing impaired, and she would watch me sometimes. And we had no way to communicate, so we put a blackboard up in the kitchen on which I would draw and communicate with her what it is that I was looking to achieve. So um, that was the start of my drawing, and then that developed, of course, into colored crowns. And I decided I really liked doing this, and I just continued pursuing it for the rest of my life. I
Mm-hmm.
college classes at Philadelphia College of Art, and I've been to numerous schools. I've also taught graphic design at the Art Institute of San Diego in San Diego. But primarily, I veered away from the graphics so much anymore because I'm primarily interested in painting, and
Mm-hmm.
I teach painting. I teach private lessons to aspiring individuals, mainly younger people, of course. I'm 65 at this point. I just turned 65 in January, so. Um, but I love art, and I've always been a promoter for art. And most recently, I won the Maryland State Fair Best Acrylic Painting in the Veterans Creative Arts Competition because I am also a Air Force veteran.
Yeah. Thank
So
you for your service. Appreciate that.
so much. It's a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Uh,
Congrats on the award. That's great. I didn't know about that.
yeah, for recent development. Well, if you,
That's very cool.
yeah. So basically, Chuck, I've just always painted, and I've created hundreds and hundreds of paintings, and I sold quite a few paintings. I also, as I mentioned, work on illustrating children's books. One that I wrote with
Mhm.
a time about a giraffe who flies a plane and has all sorts of adventures in Paris. And it's a heavily illustrated book, and
Mhm.
it's out on the market now. It's called Gigi's Paris Surprise.
Nice.
Hmm.
So I want to circle back a little bit, and I got a question. So my question is, at what age did you think and realize that, hey, this is something I'm good at, something I want to do? Painting is my passion.
Well, I would say, having started when I was 5, I won't say I had that revelation then or that epiphany, but
Hmm.
I grew into a teenager. I just decided that this is the path that I was going to take, and it has not been easy always. I've experienced the starving artist syndrome many times, but I keep on fighting back with my work and just continue to do what I do best. So I would say the teenage years were the ones that solidified my intentions and made me realize that that is the course that I wanted to take with my life.
So, John, I'm glad you mentioned that because so many people think that when you're making money and you're doing your passion and you love what you do, people think the career path to success is always easy.
No.
So tell us a little bit about the struggles, because that's one of my next questions I always ask is what are some of the challenges that you face?
Well, some of the challenges you face as an artist is first of all, do people like your work? Number two, does it fit within something that uh, has some ultimate purpose for them? Um, I have painted murals in people's houses and was very successful at it. But that could have gone south easily if I was
Hmm.
not the person for the job. So it depends on your skill level, on your adaptability, your technical prowess, your and your just general enthusiasm.
Yeah. Yeah, this would be a good segue question over to the musician part. It's like, I don't care how you paint, how many paintings you have. If people don't like what you do, they're not going to hire you. They won't buy what you have. So people have to realize that in an artist's career, you have to be good, right? You have to really have an eye for what you think people are going to like.
Yes, and you'll find that a lot of people want something very specific.
Hmm.
Uh, they sort of envision, but lacking the skills to do it themselves, they see you as an alternative sort of medium to make their wishes come true.
Hmm. So
So,
I'm kind of new to art because my youngest daughter is getting into drawing and painting herself.
mm,
Um, I just wanted to ask, do you find yourself painting what you want to sell, or is it more what people ask for, and then you create it and sell? That's just a thought in my mind that because I don't know how this works, with art. Is it that I can paint something and people will buy it, or is it something that you think people want and that's how you paint it?
well, I paint generally what I want first, but and sometimes that goes over quite well.
Nice.
Sometimes I have some very specific requests from people in the form of a commission where they will say, "I would like you. Can you paint this?" And you are left to interpret it your own way. Fortunately, having done it for so many years, I have a lot of leeway and I have a lot of possibilities because I'm very good at what I do.
Hmm.
Um, I might have someone ask me to draw to replicate something, and that's generally the course that it takes is
Hmm.
give me an idea and they'll say, could you make this maybe for this particular reason? I'd like to see it this way, and so on and so forth. So you sort of comply with that.
Right.
In that sense, it becomes a commission more than something that's created from your own internal creative spirit.
Yeah. Now, do you find yourself selling personal art more than requested art? Which more sell? What do you sell more of? What's more? Is it where you create the painting and sell it, or people are asking you to create something?
I'd say at this point, I get a lot of commissions. So I get a lot of people who want very specific things.
Uh-huh.
So I sell probably more of that at this point.
Nice.
So I never hesitate to continue my own path with my painting and painting what I want to paint.
Uh-huh. So, how many murals have you done? That has to be an interesting side of this.
And quite lucrative, as a matter of fact. I
Yeah.
uh, I was assigned to paint a $10 million house, um, and that was in, well, I guess 19. Well, we're going way back now, 96 or so, 97. and we're still in the 1900s there.
Right?
But that took a year to do, and
Wow.
company, and I had about five other artists that worked with me. So,
Hmm.
and, so it was sort of a fairy tale castle look, um, and with Greek statues and things like that, but all very very high up, 2 stories high.
Hmm.
So it was very physical. I couldn't do it nowadays.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it nowadays, but it was a good time. In
Hmm. Is that one of your favorite things to do? Was paint those murals?
That was, I would say, that was a high point of my life. Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
that's very nice. Right. So segueing over to the musician side now. So give us a little bit about the music side.
well, I've always wanted to be a singer, primarily. Not so much a musician in the sense of playing an instrument like a virtuoso, but so I learned a little bit of the guitar. I taught myself guitar, and I would write these little pop songs. And I've been doing it for many, many years now. And I used to sing in bands all over the world. Toured the United States twice singing. Um, and I have about 10 albums out and about 8 or 9 singles on out there on the market. So, and some of them do quite well. Some of the songs are pretty popular, but
Hmm.
I'm certainly by no means a superstar. Or, um, I'm not in the big league, so to speak, but I enjoy it very much, and I hope to continue doing it.
Right. So what genres do you cover? Just pop or?
No, well, pop, but also a little bit more some EDM, so electronic dance music, and a little bit of techno, a lot of experimental things. I like to experiment around and try different things. Um, some of which comes across as very esoteric and kind of obscure, but I just enjoy the experimentation and playing with the sounds.
Hmm. Now, the same question I'll ask with the art side. When did you, at what age and what time of your life did you realize and think that I think I got something here on the music side as well?
Hmm. Hmm. I would say also in my during my teenage years, because that's when music is all very fluid, and it's all out there, and you're just kind of being a receptacle to these all these new sounds and things, and so I was a part of that scene, and yeah, so I would say during my teenage years, you know.
Nice. So, what were some of the challenges? You've worked on a lot of music. You've created 10 albums. You said. So, what are some of the challenges that came with experimenting and creating these albums and traveling the world and the country singing?
Well, my certainly my family thought I was crazy because they still don't to this day. That's okay. I mean,
That's okay. You're John.
yeah. So,
Absolutely.
they know what I'm capable of, and they
Uh-huh.
appreciate me for what I am, I suppose.
Yeah.
I would say is well, I mean, I was in a situation with a record company that was not such a pleasant experience, and after that, I just sort of decided to take things on my own and just do it on my own. So,
Yeah.
and that's usually the case with a lot of artists. That happens to them where they get used and used and abused by the record companies, and but that model doesn't really apply anymore because there's so many avenues for independent artists now. So
Yeah, you beat me to it. I was going to ask that because I know several artists coming up and coming who obviously made it big. That
yeah,
same thing happened. These managers kind of, you know, did some things that they weren't happy with, and they had to wait their contracts out until they could create music on their own again. And now these artists are, one of them was already back out making music again. and the other is still fighting it. I guess you have a, you know, a court hearing coming up soon. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's not uncommon anymore, is it, to have these managers trying to take over?
It's happened since the beginning of time, really. So,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
But like you said, though, um, a lot of independent artists today, and they're doing just fine.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
So you teach art and music, or just music?
no, I teach only painting.
You teach only painting.
Well, I teach drawing, and but my paintings or classes are very all inclusive, and they're sort of like a Bob Ross on steroids, a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So paint what you want, uh, and I supply all the supplies. There's just a fee for the session, and but you're allowed to paint what you want, and then I will give you guidance as to what you are achieve and whether you're meeting those goals
Hmm.
is to perhaps enhance your work and take it from there. So there's a little bit of art history involved, uh,
Hmm.
perspective, a little anatomy, little drawing, little composition, little design skills that are all sort of thrown in there and mix and quite interesting and lively for the. I also teach at the Curry Point VA hospital. I teach recreational painting there. So
Oh, that's very nice.
yeah, yeah, I was a vet
Yeah.
together
Hmm.
every couple months and do a painting.
Hmm.
But I have private students that and they're all different. Each one wants to do different things. So
Yeah, but you don't teach music at all.
no, no,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I don't.
Okay. Yeah. So, in closing up here, so what are some of the expectations for you with this business in the next year or two? What are you expecting to make happen?
Well, I'm going to continue teaching. I'm looking for a new studio, but also hoping to finish up another children's book. And I
Nice.
take my one children's book and put it in front of some um, people in Hollywood as an animated feature. So that's kind of long way down the road, but
Hmm.
I'm looking to do that as well.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So, how does our audience find you and reach out to you if they want to
Well,
contact you?
you could go on my website, which is uh, terribly out of date, but I need because there's always new things going on, and sometimes it's hard to keep up with the things that are more relevant or more recent. I'm on Facebook, although I'm at John Joseph Keaton on Facebook, not John Keaton. John Keaton is just my sort of business name, so I keep that separate.
Hmm.
So Facebook is John Joseph Keaton, and they can get a hold of me there or through Instant Messenger, or they can, of course, shoot me an email at artbykeaton@gmail.com, or just spread the word. And if you're looking for me, I'm sure you'll find me.
Right. And did you mention your website address?
That's johnkeaton.com.
JohnKeaton.com. And that's JohnKeaton, correct?
That is correct.
Awesome. Awesome. I'll put that in the show notes as well. I'll put your website in the link in the show notes so they can just click right on it and contact you from there.
Uh,
Awesome. You have anything else you want to add, John?
Well, I hope that everyone survives this rainy day and that we all get through it with a smile on our face, and that tomorrow is a brighter day.
Absolutely. And we will survive this like we have in the past, right?
All right.
John, John, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. Really appreciate it.
You're very
And
my
thank you,
pleasure.
sir. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you so much, John. Take care.
Bye for now.
You You've been listening to the Q.A.C. Team Podcast with your host, Charles Luttrell. Connect with us on the web at qacteam.com, Facebook and Instagram at qac.team. Thanks for listening.